Welcome, everybody. My name is Julian. I am the managing director and leader here at Ghost, or otherwise known as Aeolus. This is Ghost Stories, episode 3, where we get to have chats to learn about the creators that are part of Ghost, their stories, their thoughts on certain interesting things, and just have a great conversation. Today, I have Whoh. So, Whoh, how you doing, brother?
Nerves are racking. I don't know why, dude. I'm a streamer. I record all the time, but for some reason, this situation is like a live audience. If I mess up, this is live. I can't edit this one.
Yeah,
And that's
don't
my
be nervous.
specialty.
I remember actually the first podcast I ever went on talk about nerves was actually Hex's podcast.
Oh,
It was
that's
the first,
that's way
and
different.
he made me wake up at 6 a.m. That was not fun.
I mean, that's an important one, bro. If you want me to wake up at 2 a.m., I'm there. Like, makes sense.
But no, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. And normally, I honestly start it always the same way because I think it's really important. And it's important for me to get to know you. But how did this all start for you? How did you get into gaming? How did you get into, I guess, two-verse question. How did you get into gaming? Then how did you get into content creation, most importantly?
So, I mean, I've always played Call of Duty my whole life. Like, if you want to say, like, what's the first COD you ever played? I remember there being one on GameCube. I think it was just campaign only. And, but the very, very first Call of Duty that I played and started grinding, where I first picked up a sniper, was Call of Duty 4. And
oh, nice. That's the same one I started in, actually.
That's a good one. And then Modern Warfare 2 rolls around and Final Kill Cam started to be a thing. And then I turned into a trick shotter. It started with just quick scopes, no scopes, 360s on the ground, 360, then jump off. And then FaZe Clan rolls around and everyone's posting content. And I'm watching these people and I'm loving it. And like, man, I miss the hype. People used to appreciate clips. You could just post clips and join a team. Now you got to really like be a leader, an influencer, like a great content creator, and just an entertainer overall.
Yeah.
And,
when is that when you started?
When I started making content?
Yeah.
Dude, I lived with my dad and stepmom, and they both worked from home, so I couldn't even like talk on the mic much, which was one of the biggest like inspirations for me to get the hell out of the house because I always wanted to be a content creator. Didn't have any money. They wouldn't give me money, so like, you know, bless my dad, good on him, because it made me grow up real fucking quick and get a job and move out. And then I bought my first starter PC. And that's when I started to finally click go live. My first ever stream was on World War II. That was my first COD stream, but I had always recorded clips on like Modern Warfare 2. And one of the biggest inspirations for me making content was seeing like FaZe Clan and Red Reserve and all these people like starting watching them from the beginning. And they've moved into these big houses and they've made a name for themselves and they're buying their parents' cars. And clearly there's something going on here where you can make this into a career. And the only way to find out is to do it. And as long as you love it from the beginning, you're never going to think about how long it's going to take if you love what you're doing. And it's just going to happen eventually. If you really want to make something happen, you're going to like do the research and just figure it out.
Yeah. What year was that? You know,
which year was
when I started making videos? The first video.
Oh my God. I mean, like I had like clips where I would send out to an editor and they'd make like an OCE. If anybody remembers that, one clip edits, that was a thing, bro.
Yep.
Oh man. I don't know how long I've had my channel for, but when I started to make like real content that I would consider content, like highlights videos, is probably when I actually got that PC and I was able to like record better content. Because you're very limited if you have like a Roxio and HD PVR and a laptop that can't even run it, getting 20 frames, losing your files. But
what was that like? Oh, what was that like 2018, 2019?
I think it was after high school. I graduated in 2015. Let's just say 2018, around there. It could be a year less. I'm not sure. I'd have to start looking things up.
That's wild. No, that's awesome. I mean, for me, my first recording device was a Dazzle.
Dude, same. My dad pulled one out of like a garage somewhere, and I had like $100 laptop, and I lost like a 6 on one time. I couldn't record with it, man. I really just had nothing.
Pulling a Dazzle out of nowhere dad deserves props.
Well, my dad always did like music, and he had his own band. I don't even know what the name is. Let's not get into that. But you know, he plays guitar. He was in a band once, so maybe he had this for something related to that, having a studio.
Yeah, so you played COD for a really long time before actually recording on it.
And
that's pretty. I mean, that seems pretty much the course for a lot of people I know that became creators on Call of Duty. I think I mean, I started making videos in 2010 and 2012-ish. And the 2012 was like the prime time of trick shotting. I mean, I could speak about that forever.
Dude, before Call of Duty, I was mainly a Halo main. Halo
Really?
3 was
Okay.
my shit. I was saving up like this. I wanted to be the next Campy. If anyone knows that, he
Yep,
even
I
joined
do know.
FaZe at like one point, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is what I've always wanted to see: Halo and FaZe." Because that's like, man, if I had to pick like a top game growing up, like the vibes you felt on it when playing it and the customs, it's Halo 3. Like
Yeah.
probably more than like MW2, I would say, fun wise.
Wow.
But MW2 was like more badass and cool wise, like,
Yeah, it
where
really
trick
was.
shots became a thing.
It was a lot cooler when MW2 was popular.
Oh
I
my
remember
god, you want to know something funny too? I started on Halo and I was trying to save up like those 100 clips, and I didn't have a recording device because I didn't have shit back then, and I wanted to be a creator so bad. And so we had theater mode, and you could watch like all these clips on like Bungie.com or something. I'm over in private match with a bunch of random people, and we're like practicing trick shots on MW2. And this guy, like, I don't know, I'm a squeaker at this rate. He like threatens to take my account, and I'm like, do it, you won't, because like I think he's fucking joking. I got my ass hacked, and he took everything, and I lost everything on Halo, bro. My
yeah,
name
the
was
hacking.
V6.chaos at the time.
That's hilarious.
Dude, I used to go by Chaos once upon a time.
Yeah, the old gamer tags is a funny one. I mean, hacking was a lot more popular. I came from PS3 actually when Modern Warfare 2 first started, and then I switched to Xbox 360 because everybody relevant was on Xbox
Mine's the other way
360.
around.
And it was funny because when a PSN went down for a year because of Lizard Squad, I remember I got a USB stick. I begged my mom. I literally begged her because at the time, the jailbreaking with his name used to be Headshots times 9. I'm sure a couple of people that know the MW2 like OG days remember that name, like the original challenge lobby. And he created this thing on a forum. You just put it on there and you plug your PSN, you could just basically like hack the game. And I just thought I was so cool doing it. Just like because PSN was down, I had nothing better to do. But no, that's funny. I mean, we all have all these different origin stories. I mean, it's been easy so far. The last few ghost stories other than the last actually has just been with Call of Duty people, which I mean, I actually come from that space too. So it's like have so much history just going through COD from 2010 to even now. It's been actually a really long journey. What is it about the COD community specifically that like what do you like? What attracted you to this space the most? I mean, other than the fact that you're obviously good at the game, right? You were a great sniper when you started recording. Like,
Oh,
what
I'm
was it
Unk
about it?
status now.
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
don't
we're both
focus so
unks.
much
I'm
on
like
like
grandpa. If you're calling yourself an unk, I'm grandpa. So, like, what was it about the game or about the community that attracted you to make content specifically in this game?
probably FaZe Clan made it
Okay.
like super cool to like want to post your clips and share it with people, and seeing that they would do well kind of like inspired us to be like, bro, I want to post a clip and get 1,000 views or whatever it was. And these super sweet montages, like I'm such a nerd. Like if I hear a song, like I can envision like a trick shot on sync to the drop. Like, and I'm sure a lot of people within the COD community can kind of relate to that, or like a rock song hitting a closer to it. But
Yeah.
it just seemed
Yeah.
super cool, and it was this own small community that felt cool to be a part of. Like I remember even in middle school, like I would be so excited to run home and hop in a 6-man with a bunch of people to hit some trick shots. I started jogging home just to get there faster to make sure I was in the 6-man like before it filled up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
message to all friends and recent players looking for a 6-man. Like you wanted to
Yeah.
get in and grind, and
Yeah. I mean, I was funny. I was
it was
actually
hard
just
as a
at,
squeaker too at the time.
yeah, dude. Oh my God. I listen to some of my old, there's still some stuff, and I will never say what the channel name is, where I'm like, what was I doing?
Someone's
And
gonna find it.
my mom, we was at just at dinner, she was telling the story about when Modern Warfare 2 just came out. I was actually a straight A student. I got so addicted, I almost failed. I think it was 7th grade or 8th grade in middle school. So she had to take it away because that game, when it first came out, there's only one other game that really like compares for me personally, which is World of Warcraft, which I know is like super nerdy. But that game, when it first came out, I've never experienced anything like it, from like the community to just the fun level. And then, when sniping and trick shotting became ultra popular, obviously it was even more like encompassing. And in 2012, like that's all I did. I would just get on. Summer came. It's just perma 6-mans. My first big team was like Link Region, which
That
became
sounds familiar.
yeah. And so I wasn't the best. I mean, I'm definitely not the best trick shotter. I've only hit, I'd say, like 3 usable clips my entire life. Uh, and so it's not, I don't have the best track record compared to some of the other people in Ghost, like Tanzer, right? Who like
I was gonna say
literally
the
hits
first person I
nonstop.
think
Like,
of, like
yeah, like I don't get his skill level. Like he can do it, and I'm just like, like I
it's
used to do this shit for
dedication.
years. I used to do this shit for years, and I have a few clips in Link Region cams from Clash of the Clans that were just insane. And I always love Call of Duty. I mean, what do you think about the current state of Call of Duty? How has it been for content creation, and then additionally, how has it been for you as a player? I mean, I feel like that comes first. You've been playing it for so long.
I mean, if you really look at Call of Duty at its core and you think about it, you're doing the same thing you've been doing for 20 years straight. Like you're still just playing TDM, you're still playing search and destroy. So like you're naturally just gonna like start to get bored over this because it gets repetitive. Just like Battle Royale was like this new hot thing. It kind of revived like the player base now 5-6 years later. Like now it's starting to see declines. And the less fun you're having on it, the less you're playing it, the less content you're putting out.
Yeah,
And sometimes I guess you could say fall off, but simply out of like falling out of love with the game too.
yeah,
It's been rough recently, like even with Warzone, the decline, but if you stick through, since a lot of creators are going to quit and upload less, like that's a chance to stand out because there's still always going to be a core audience that wants to watch your content. And if you're willing to push through, not only are you gonna stand out between those that aren't, you're gonna try to like learn and do better because your content's performing like crap, and you're gonna
yeah.
learn more, like to
I
be able
think
to improve.
that's such interesting perspective, because I would love to dive deeper into this, because I think often when I talk to creators, the game dies. They're like, a lot of the conversation is like, okay, how do you transition to a new game as a creator?
It
And
is
almost
good to not.
yeah, and you're almost presenting this perspective where it's like, yeah, I mean, but if you love the game, or there's an opportunity in the fact that a lot of creators moving in out of it, how do you find those ways to kind of like reinvent yourself? What's your
Well,
creative
first off,
process?
I don't love the game.
Yeah.
I love what I do on the game, but I
Hmm,
could easily go do that anywhere else.
I see.
I fell out of love with the repetitive, like hitting sniping clips. I loved hitting trick shots and stuff, but like the appreciation for clips nowadays is kind of ruined with like two boxers, like all these people just hitting these cheesy fake clips, setting up all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be kind of a content creator that just had fun and made people laugh, because when I would watch other content creators and I felt like, I'm just laughing watching a video, that's what I wanted to make others feel. But then I still wanted to play Call of Duty, so I kind of found this new thing that I do where I just go into like plunder. Like I don't even play Warzone. I don't give a shit to like be like, yeah, look, I'm good. Here's my squad wipe. I just want to have a fun interaction and I want to make people laugh. And in doing so, if you don't lock yourself into like the specific niche of like, you're posting class setups, you're posting clips, you're doing informative content, you're capping yourself at the interest that like if there's like only 100,000 people playing the game, like that's going to be like your cap of people interested in the video, because if they're not playing the game, why would they care about a class setup if they're not going to get on to use it? So what I've also done is created content in a way that you can watch this, not need to play the game or understand the game to enjoy like what you're watching. So I've always focused on like hitting a broader audience. Like, can somebody watch it? That's the first thing in my mind. Like, will they understand this? Will they appreciate this? And because like
Yeah.
if you put all your eggs in one basket and just play one game and post clips on the game, it's out of your control if the game sees a decline. But if you're constantly trying to create videos that doesn't rely on that, also, if you do tend to transition to something else, well, now you have an audience that didn't like you just for the game, but they liked you for you.
Yep. Yeah.
And it'll make things easier
I think that's true. I mean,
in the long
ultimately,
run.
yeah, I think like game specific content definitely scales faster. Like what you're talking about, like class setups, like new patch updates, things like that. They're very trend based. Like if you're fast to it, there's a lot of upside. But I think the problem is that it's really integral within the game,
And it's
right?
not evergreen
Yeah,
content too.
it's
Like
not.
if
Yeah,
like class setups do amazing, people are always looking for that.
yeah,
But when a new Call of Duty comes out a year later, there is zero interest in a weapon that's not even in the new game.
yeah,
Whereas if you just make like a fun video overall, that'll consistently get pushed. Like I have videos that hit like a year later. Like I'm a
yeah,
nerd for studying my analytics.
Hmm.
and I go like in depth. Like that's where I learn almost like everything. You have to
Okay.
like study your audience. Like it's not really an algorithm, it's an audience and what are they interested in and are you able to hold their attention and if not, what are you doing wrong? Like the first thing I do is blame myself. And I go, what am I doing wrong that people don't like watching anymore?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people struggle to be able to look at their own failures first and want to blame like an algorithm.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's really common in creators. I think that it's always like exterior, like if whether the game be dying or it's the alg. I think that there's always a sense of control. And I mean, a lot of the bigger creators, you've watched them reinvent themselves multiple times, and it's because they're always kind of, I think, looking inward, right? They're always challenging themselves rather than challenging their environment to kind of do it for them, which I
there
think is
are
super
algorithm
valuable.
shifts
Yeah.
and there are, people playing the game that decline. So there are
Yeah.
actually valid reasons, but it's just can you adapt and evolve to overcome that? Like, can you make a piece of content that's not going to heavily rely on like those cases?
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
where you start to
absolutely.
become a better creator because then when the game is thriving, you're going to have that natural viewership increase. Plus, you're going to stand out and have better content because you've been through the rough times to be able to put out a quality video. And so, like, when Verdansk comes out, I'm going probably harder than I ever have.
Okay.
Everybody needs to take advantage of that
Yeah. Are you excited?
for the first time in forever. Dude, Warzone's been left in the gutter. Like,
Yeah.
we've
I
had
was really underwhelmed with the new Warzone, like when the with the new game too. I was just like, I mean, it's
it's
there,
just
but it
it's
just
just
feels
the same
so the
thing, just different
same.
map.
Yeah, it
Our
just feels
updates
too
are we get a
much.
couple weapons, but like putting a different weapon in your hand doesn't make the game a new game. It's just like if
Yeah.
you use it, it might feel different. That's it. Like it's not content. It's
Yeah.
not going to keep you playing. We need
What
LTMs back.
what do you think Call of Duty needs to change to kind of interest normal players again in the game and content creation?
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. Like when I mentioned LTMs, like even some fun little game modes like Kingslayer Trios, that's where I started trick shotting again. That's where you were able to, it was like a TDM style on a huge map, like the Warzone map, where
Mhm.
final kill was final kill cam and you can cut your shoot midair, go for 1440, hit a trick shot. They
That's
even
fun.
had a Boys the collab in Warzone 2. And dude, I hate to say it, controversial. I had more fun on Warzone 2 than I have Warzone 3.
Hmm.
Um, because it's not like Warzone 3 feels better movement wise, but Warzone 2, the genuine fun you have when playing it, that was more fun for me.
Yeah.
But they need to bring those LTMs back because if they have stuff like the boys game mode where you had superpowers in Warzone, fuck the people that are like, oh, that's not realistic. Okay, well, the regular game mode still exists, but us who want to have fun have our thing too. And guess what? It's going to bring the content creators back on. They're going to make videos on it. They're going to push it out. It's going to help the game. Like, so if they keep the content creators who have millions of views satisfied and playing their game, it's going to make them upload more. They just have to simply make fun things on the game.
Yeah.
Like, they've been putting the most minimal, like, updates out just to kind of keep us a little engaged. Like, if you
Mhm.
ever look at the Steam charts, it's like, every 3 months when there's a new season, up and then back down, up and then back down. So I'm pretty sure they're looking at that like, yeah, this is like at minimum what we need to do, but like that's it. They do the minimum. If they,
Yeah.
I don't really know how much it could cost them compared to what they're making, bro. To just a game mode. I don't know. I'm not a like coder or
Yeah. No, I
game
agree.
designer,
There
but
needs to be a more fun. I mean, the realistic people really kill me in video games. Like that's not real. Like I mean, realistically, like nothing is realistic when it comes to Call of Duty. And I think the arcade aspect of COD back in the day is what made it great, right? It was just so it was a game at the end of the day. It wasn't trying to be a military simulator, right? It was a game that was fun. You know, the gameplay was fast paced, the guns killed fast. I mean, people love to I like idolize
everything seemed
MW2.
OP.
Yeah,
So like you could
people love
really
to
use
idolize
whatever
that
you want.
game. But like, I mean, when I played MW2, I was getting blasted by Model 1887 across Skid Row. And
Yeah,
like,
one man
yeah,
army
that
noob
would
tubes.
piss
Let's
me
not talk
off.
about that one though. That one was
Yeah,
crazy.
that would piss me off, but that was fun, dude. I mean, it was fun to use. It was fun. It was funny to go against. And I think like Call of Duty has gotten stuck in this like hyper, like trying to be like a war simulator and also just understanding like its identity is an arcade shooter. As somebody that loves search and destroy, like it is my favorite game mode. Like getting in search and destroy, smack talking is like, I don't know if it gets better than that.
And
But
nowadays there's so many comm bans, so like even search
yeah,
and destroy creators are complaining about the lack
yeah,
of mics. But even me
yeah,
in
they ruined it.
proximity chat and Warzone, like it is so hard to get like that perfect moment nowadays because everyone's comm banned or they're stuck in like a team chat or they're afraid to get comm banned and they just be muting up.
Yeah. They ruined a lot of the community aspect of the game. It's very isolating. I say like SND feels entirely different. I understand like promoting like a toxic environment might not be the best, but that's SND. It's the culture of playing that game
Some
mode.
people feed off that. That is
Yeah.
what's fun for them.
And
To
I would
hear the
say
trash talk, and now it's a
yeah.
competition. Can I destroy
Yeah.
this trash talker? It's gonna make you feel better. Like
Yeah. No, exactly. And when it comes and then you go back, it kind of brings you to like this place where all you're left with is the gameplay. The gameplay is actually not that great. So it's like all right, well this it's not really worth accepting. It's really interesting actually. I
it's the
really
people on the game that make it fun, not so much the game
yeah.
anymore. Because
Yeah,
you're doing the same thing.
I really love the perspective that you're bringing to content creation, which is ultimately a lot of self accountability. What does that stem from for you personally? Like, have you always just been really accountable? Was it just through learning as being a creator and like having those moments? Because very transparently, making content for me, I at first I was one of those people that blamed everything around me. It's I feel like it's almost par for the course unless you have that traditional or something that made you the other way. And I started to learn as I did it more and more that it's like these things are in my control to a pretty significant extent. I really need to be looking inward. What kind of clicked that for you? Because that's not common in creators. A lot of creators have to go through something to get there. What
Well,
was it
there
for you?
comes a point where you want to continue doing what you love, but you're struggling. You're getting like 100 views every long form because it's just like all your homies clicking on it. And you're like, but how the hell do people get to this point where they're getting 10K, 100K? And there's limited research. Actually, there's infinite research now online. But like the number one way, if you don't know what you're doing to improve, is to just look at your own videos and try to improve every time from the last one. If you really want to make something happen, and get your content to do well, you're going to go out of your way to find
Yeah.
out how to make it do well. And if you're not willing to be like, what am I doing wrong? Like you just gotta like, bro, I've watched like podcasts with Mr. Beast and applied Mr. Beast's like sayings to like, how could I do this with a COD video?
Yeah.
I've watched like editing people like Hillier Smith, who just tells you how to create a story. How can I apply that to a COD video?
Yeah.
Watch vidIQ, who tells you how to format a video, how to hook them in, like the purpose of title and thumbnails, like why that's more important over everything. And then just constantly apply that to your content, stare at your analytics, and how can I get it from 50% to 60% average view duration? Like
Yeah.
ask yourself every single little question. I guess I'm like obsessed. If it's like, how did I do this? Like I'm obsessed with studying my analytics and trying to learn from it and trying to be better always.
Yeah.
And I just really want to like not be a failure and succeed. So like my passion to want to make it happen, I guess, kind of makes me lock in and
Yeah. No, that's
always try to improve.
yeah, I think what you're speaking to is just really loving the journey, which I think a lot of people
Oh, it does become fun.
yeah. Yeah.
Winning when you didn't know it was possible, like finding a way, it's like a fun little maze, like to make it happen. I don't know. I feel like you got to be a bit obsessed to go through the effort. Like, bro, I'll rewatch a fucking short like 20 times. Be like, do I need to have that there? Like, I'll reanalyze my own videos. Like, that's so time consuming for me. I be watching things more than I should, but it's
Yeah.
made me get to the point where I think I'm making decent content. Clearly, it's working.
Yeah, it's
I'm
working.
doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, like you just being in love with the journey, I think speaks a lot. Because I think a lot of people nowadays in modern society are just in love with the destination, like because that's all you see, right? And so you get enamored with all the outcomes of people's dedications, whether it be visualizing their success, visualizing what they've obtained because of their success. And I think people forget how important it is to love what you are doing. Like you wouldn't be able to do what you are describing if you actually
Yeah.
didn't love
If
doing it.
if you don't love what you're doing, you're gonna do it less. And if you genuinely love what you're doing, you're gonna put more time into it. And if you loved what you put out, you'd be excited to edit it, to put it out because you're like ready to like see those comments come through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing people don't realize is that love isn't always easy. And so people think, well, because I'm not always loving doing YouTube, or loving the process of doing YouTube, I must not actually enjoy it as much as I do. And I feel like they kind of like trap them. But I think in reality, loving something at its core is that kind of pull, that push and forth, right? Any relationship, anything that has to do with it, I feel like there's going to be moments where you just feel so much of it, right? You're like, this is the best. I fucking love YouTube. There's probably times that you're going to be like, this sucks.
You're
And
going
it's
to be
hard.
motivated by your
Yeah.
videos doing well, and it's going to
Yeah.
crush you when they start to perform bad. And you haven't changed anything, but magically they're just not doing great out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But like if you genuinely love something, you're going to go out of your way to figure out like, how can I get these to do well? Because these are funny clips. I want to share these with the world. But you still have to understand that there's a way to format them. Like you got to hook people in. You got to
Yeah.
keep them entertained throughout, hold the retention, and then get them to rewatch your videos. Like that. I mean, there's a million things I could talk about.
Yeah.
Um,
What is it that, I mean, I'm sure you had those moments, and does it come back to that point about accountability where you feel like the views aren't there, you aren't getting the results? Have you always just been like, damn, I'm looking inwardly? How have you dealt with those ups and downs motivation? That's like honestly a part of like the content creator psychological calendar, right? Where you have these intense highs, getting a lot of views, getting your goals, and then there's these lows where you're maybe not hitting the mark. How do you keep yourself motivated through that time? Is it just your passion for it, which would make sense, or is there things that you do to kind of keep yourself on track?
you have to try to use every like decline as like a learning experience. Like, what am
Yep.
I doing wrong? Is there actually a different reason why these aren't performing well? Has there been a shift in what your audience is interested in now?
Yep.
I know that there's always ups and downs. They're gonna like you can't blow up forever.
Yep.
You're gonna start to flatline. You're gonna slow down, but that can be out of your control. You can do everything right that you're supposed to do for a video, and it could still flop,
Yeah.
and you'll be confused. But if
And
you
it's
try
often
to like just
that.
look into it, just look at it as a learning experience.
Yeah. I think that's super important. Yeah, I think it's very, I think a lot of people say that, but I think the amount of people that truly mean it, it speaks volumes, because I think like the phrase like learn from failure is obviously like immensely popular, but the act of really being in failure and learning from it is extremely difficult. I think it takes a lot of emotional maturity to be failing and actually be like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back and not really like completely dissolve over what's going on. And obviously with your content, first of all, I think it's abundantly apparent that you're an analytic nerd and really keen on improving your content. I think that's why you've had so much success on TikTok. 100%. Like in that short form vertical where attention, capturing people for every second is important, I feel like you've demonstrated an understanding of exactly how to do that. I mean, your TikTok has grown so fast. What has that been like for you?
Dude, it's actually slowed down, and I'm seeing more success on Snapchat.
That's
Dude,
interesting.
people are sleeping on Snapchat.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Snapchat.
But you could do everything that like will make a video do well. Upload it to 5 different platforms. It's doing amazing on 2 and it's flopping on 3.
Yep.
Now, unless you're like making 3 versions of your video and switching it based on like what's working on one and what's working on the other, like that's like some crazy effort that not a lot of people are going to want to put in. Like, are you going to re-edit your video 3 times because like intros work on TikTok and YouTube, but like getting straight into it works on Facebook and Snapchat? Like, I've done that on a few videos. Like, you can re-upload like a flop, edit it correctly, and now it has like 2 million views.
I want to actually take a step. I think we've been talking a lot about a lot of games, content creation, but I also want to use this opportunity for people to get to know you more. So who was Whoh trying to be before the content creation? What was the
Man,
what was your goal? Were you going
before
to?
I was like, let's be a content creator,
Yeah,
dude, I was really set on just making it happen.
there's
The
got to be
last like
something. Everybody has something before content creation that was like, this is what I want to be in life, whether it be as a kid or something I really interested you. I know with Knight, he wanted to be a baseball player.
I played baseball for 1 year, didn't like it. I was glad it was over so I can go back to playing MW2.
Yeah,
That's the kid I was.
that's funny.
I used to skate a
Okay.
lot. I wasn't good enough to go the professional skater route.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a young kid, I've always been fascinated in space and was thinking like maybe I'll go into space, But then as I grew up, I'm like, if that turns out to be the route, I want to make a lot of money too. So I was thinking astrophysics in
Dang.
college, and then I went to college and realized it's math, math, and math, and I was like, fuck this, dude. This is so ass. And
Yeah,
then like I was
I
working
hate
at a
math.
restaurant, and I was gonna be promoted to a bartender, but like I never really thought about a backup plan because I was always said like I'm just gonna make this work, like however long it takes. Like I was like, dude, in order to be full time and pay all of your bills, like you got to make what like 2.5 to 3K a month off of that if you want to be full time in Cali. But if I want to be full time now, let's move to Ohio. It's
Yeah,
$500 a month.
yeah,
So I pretty much just like I worked at a restaurant for a few years. I saved up a bunch of money, and then I moved out to Ohio and just lived off of a savings. Didn't blow up. Went to Walmart, saved up again. Did it while working full time, and did content part time. Quit my job again. Then went full time, and I've been full time ever since. So like I've been really dedicated to making it happen. And if that means you just got to work a job and save up and live off of savings, like if you want to make something happen, you'll do that. Like move away
yeah,
out of your state, no distractions.
yeah,
That's what I did. Dude, it sucked. It sucked
yeah.
living alone and just focusing on it. But like, that's just sometimes how you got to do it. Like people aren't willing to make zero money for like years. Like that's the hurdle that people don't typically get across is just the time it takes of making absolutely nothing. But if you love what you're doing, it doesn't matter if you're making nothing.
Yeah.
But you see the opportunity of what you could make, extra motivating.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I mean, I understand. I mean, I feel like that's something I always perceive in people is they want to get fast to the game. I feel like for me, I took over 8 years to start making something from esports and gaming. I started in 2010, most probably around 2018, started making what I would consider a salary to do what I was doing. And I'll never forget that day that I first made money that was significant. What was that like for you? I mean, you're talking about this moment, and first of all, I'd like to say kudos to you. Sounds like you went through a lot of up and down to get where you are.
oh yeah.
A lot of figuring it out, coming back to
A
it.
lot of no one believing in me, which I
Yeah,
just used as motivation too to make it happen.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
at a
and that's
time,
fucking awesome. Yeah,
like even my own dad would be like, "Are you making money yet?" Like that'd be the only thing they ever ask first. It's like, bro, like you don't understand. Like it takes time. It's just like an
yeah.
investment of your time.
Yeah, and
Um,
especially around 2018, that was still a point where I think a lot of people just didn't even believe in the career path, of course. And not before Fortnite, Ninja exploding the scene in that space. I think a lot of people didn't really consider it a real career. So, but before we get into that, what was it that validating moment for you? What was that like, after everything that you had already been through? Did
well,
it what
last year was the first year I did it full time. Like
yeah.
no part time jobs, just fully living off of revenue. I don't know. I mean I wasn't making a whole lot like the first time I got paid, but like it was like this is possible. I
Yeah.
just gotta work harder.
Yeah.
But a lot of people need to diversify. Like
Yeah.
some people just stream and that's it. But like you can make short form content and post it on like 5 different platforms. They're different audiences. Like you don't have to worry about like, oh, but they've already seen it on YouTube. No, they haven't. You
Yeah.
go lay in bed, you're picking one app to like sit and swipe on. So you
Yeah.
have to like monetize yourself everywhere. It's if you just look into every possible monetization opportunity, you'll find that like you can make decent money. You just got
Yeah.
to know where to look and what you're doing.
I think what some content creators underserve is how many skills they develop in the process of wanting to be a creator. I've actually a lot of my good friends have become um, just great in other verticals, whether it be marketing, video editing, graphic design, and they used to just be trick shotters or used to just play Fortnite. I mean, some of the kids that used to be fans of myself and some of the organization I led in the past on Fortnite are now literal millionaires from like the weirdest thing. I mean, one of my favorite stories is Lucas, whose name is not Luck. I remember I picked him up because he was like one of the fastest editors on Fortnite, and he just was so into YouTube. You remind me just of him, which is like really analytic driven, really deep into like just how to be the best version of himself. and then he just makes one of the biggest Fortnite map studios. And it's like, I think people really underserve their ability to like diversify themselves and just understand like, hey, maybe if it, I'm applying to myself to content creation, but being open to other verticals too, I think it's super important, because sometimes in life things happen and they lead you somewhere and the destination isn't exactly what you thought it was going to be. You may have wanted to be going to Chicago, but you end up in New York, right? And somewhere around the way, that's what happens. What do you think about the skills that you developed as a creator? I mean, I feel like, especially all
I
the things you
I
do.
could quit now and go get a social media management job for like 100K a year, or I could be a video editor. Actually, prior to my blow up, if you want to call it that, just when I started to see success to turn it into full time, I was editing and managing other creators' social media. Like, not a lot of people know, but I took over Bam's TikTok at 30K and grew him to over 1 million followers. Like, and I would edit for a lot of like known creators. Like, everyone was trying to seek out like working with me, but like something that was motivating about that too would be when I'm signed into these people's accounts, man, I see the revenue and the potential that like, man, dude, like, what if I just did this for myself?
Yep.
I could get to that point too.
Yeah.
So like I could make a resume of like all these like people I've worked with, Obey Alliance, Carnage Clan, BAMs, like even on long forms on YouTube, and like just shown like I took over the account and grew it to like X amount of followers. Like, this is the quality of like editing that I produce. I've been editing for like 10 plus years. And I understand all these platforms. Like, I even thought about it, bro, just making a resume and just getting like a part-time job. Because like, eventually I'm gonna fall out of love with Warzone. Like, am I gonna like Warzone in 5 years, bro? Like, I don't know,
Yeah, it's
but
a good
like,
question.
I'm gonna switch to GTA, not switch, start a second channel on GTA 6 and have fun on that too. But like, there's gonna come a time eventually where it's like, I don't want to game anymore. I will always want to make content and put out funny videos, but like, do I enjoy gaming enough to sit through it for 8 hours to get that one clip to maybe it does well? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So like, it's
Uh,
nice to have those skills kind of like uh as an option to use if you really need to go get a big boy job or whatever.
yeah.
Um
That brings me to the question that I always ask our creators on these, which is, if you could redo your, I guess, your success in the Warzone category on a different game, which game would you have chosen?
GTA roleplay.
Ah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
then
that's
it's
a good
not so
one.
focused on the gameplay.
Yeah, it's a good
Whereas
one.
like you
That's a
post a
great
Warzone
one.
video, there's a certain percent that have an expectation of good gameplay.
Yeah,
I don't want to post because I want to act like I'm good at the game. I want to just post a funny moment. And if I did that on GTA roleplay, like, I hope, bro, if GTA 6, like, they're supposed to work with 5M, and I would assume if they're working with them, they're probably creating like a world where it has that sort of roleplay style. And if they do, oh, it's game over.
I
Me
I think
going
so.
over to GTA 6. See you later, Warzone. Call of
I
Duty
think
never hit me
so.
up once, bro. In my 400 million views
Yeah.
posting content for them, or not for them, but like on their game, like I'm gonna hit up GTA 6 real quick, man.
I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, I would be really highly surprised if GTA 6 did not have a role play feature in literally the game and online, because I think it's like this next step. I mean, GTA itself is just alive because of role play at the end of the day.
Yep.
And it's like this weird like Half-Life thing that is I think is inevitable, where people are, especially when you're seeing what people are able to do as modders of the game. Like, imagine when Rockstar does it themselves. Like, I think the amount of expertise in Windows it's going to open for that category is going to be insane. Where people, in my perspective, would be living completely different lives on the game, which is kind of scary but cool. And that's also why I think the price point is as high as it is. That's my personal guess. I don't think it's because
I'm
like
paying
they
it.
just decided, and I don't care about the price point either. I think
My
like
my worry though is
yeah,
if they make the game cost $100, like that's instantly gonna limit the amount of people that can play it.
yeah.
So unless
I
they have a free version of the game, like Call of Duty does, like Warzone, and then you can pay for multiplayer and campaign, I feel like that's the only way for them to make, like, maybe GTA Online is free,
yeah.
but the features like the whole story and the raids and all this extra stuff, if they can make that like the paid version, then
Yeah, I
it'd be
would say
smart.
I understand, but I think people underestimate that like hyper consumerism that exists like how much people spend just being on Call of Duty.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Then again, like that game's gonna last probably 10 years, whereas you're paying 60 to 70 every year for Call of
yep,
Duty. So
exactly. And then
once
you're
you
buying
do
all the
2 years of COD, you've
skins.
spent more than the one GTA.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And that's why I think that people are ultimately going to pay the price. I mean,
yeah.
it's just like if you think about COD, you're not only buying the game, you're buying the battle pass, you're buying the new skins, like, and that's really reciprocated across any game. I think it's a lot like the culture of video games nowadays in general is like, sure, you're buying the game, but everything else that you buy after is actually just accepted, which is so interesting. Of course, there's people that never spend money on a game, but I think in 80% of people probably have spent money on a game they've already paid the money to buy the game to begin with. But I'm really excited for that. I think GTA is a really good answer because that game is awesome. Have you done role play before?
I mean, well, in some of my content, like I'm acting like as a character in a way to bait the reactions from people. So like technically I am role playing in certain scenarios in Call of Duty.
Yeah,
But their reactions are real and they're not.
yeah.
So
I
like I
did
know I would be fine instantly going into it.
yeah. I did a SSB World, Aiden Ross's GTA RP server, but I don't know if that's like actually RP because I was just getting shot. Like it's just
Yeah.
it was just violence nonstop. And I joined a cartel when I first joined, and it was actually kind of fun. And then like I would just be walking around and I would just get pressed, and it wasn't role play. Like I was just being bullied.
I try to
Um,
join the free roleplay servers and yeah, they're just unmoderated. You're getting farmed off of like spawn. Like the ones that are like full of content creators and strict rules are like application based and
yep,
like monthly. Like there's servers you have to pay like $500 a month to get on, but like they're probably the ones with Kai Cenat on it.
yeah, no, absolutely,
But then again, if you're a content creator and you pay $500 a month to get daily content on it, it's gonna pay for itself. So it makes sense why they would pay it.
yep,
If they're that size, I wouldn't pay that much. That's crazy.
yeah. No, I
But
think it just depends on the server. Some of these servers are just super good creator like networks that you just get to consistently interact with other creators. You not even know it. I know so many streamers that have blown up specifically just from being in the vicinity of bigger streamers in GTA roleplay, which is honestly worth it. It's like a marketing expense. Awesome. Well, I don't want our chat to end yet, but I do want to open it up to questions, which is the last segment of this. So
ooh, open up the
everybody,
chat.
if you could, I'll read you the questions to make it easy.
Oh, do they have
But
questions?
yeah, anybody, if you guys want to ask a question to Whoa or me or something about Ghost, if you could just take this time to ask it in the chat, we'll go one by one. We'll start answering those questions. We'll take about 10 to 15 minutes here. If we segue a little bit, might go a little bit over, and we'll start there. So we'll see who has the first one. How did you get so cute?
Damn, I'm hiding behind the bandana and the hair. You don't want me to go bald. I'll age you real quick.
What's the sponsor for today's video? There's no sponsors.
Ghost gaming in general.
Ghost Gaming, yeah, facts. Warframe when?
Yeah,
I've
I'm good
considered
on
playing
that.
this game. What's wrong with Warframe?
I guess I have this will I make content on it kind of thing. Like I can't just
I
enjoy a game
see.
anymore. Like I gotta like be like if I'm gonna
Interesting.
spend hours on a game, unless it's genuine pure fun, because I do miss just gaming to game. Like I
Yeah,
played Dead Space recently. That was amazing, the remake. But yeah, if it's a game I'm gonna play all the time, I gotta make some content on it or something, or else I feel like I'm wasting my time.
interesting. I honestly play a lot of games for casual more so than now. There's a new game that came out. I will definitely advise you stream it. It's called Schedule One. Have you heard about this?
No, I don't
Basically,
think
you're a
so.
drug dealer, but it's like open
I'm
world.
in.
No, dude, it is the funnest game I've played in a long time. If you guys have not played the game, anybody here, that is like a really fun game, and you actually can play with your friends. It's 4 people, and you're like, it's the most obscene thing ever. But yes, play more games for fun. Well,
Yeah,
it can't
I
always be strictly business.
I did start streaming variety games just to
I saw
like
that.
enjoy gaming again.
Yeah,
Obviously, you're gonna see a viewer dip sometimes, but like
yeah,
I want to stream just for fun sometimes, not because I feel like I have to play COD. Like, and then like
yeah,
you're gonna realize who your loyal community is, like who's there just no matter what. Which is like,
absolutely.
for example, Razor says, "Who supported you the most when you started making content?" strangers online that became good friends in my community. I really just had myself and strangers to motivate me. You got to build a real genuine community if you want to I guess succeed, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you give really valuable, it's an alternative perspective for sure. I mean, you deserve a lot of respect. And I think your community, leaning on your community is not something that creators do often enough. I think people really underestimate how important it is to develop a relationship with people that support you. Some people just really, they just make themselves so distant from that. What's your goal from content creation or for content creation? Sorry.
Well, I mean, I just want to entertain people, but it would be nice to get to a point where like what Mr. Beast does for people, to be able to not only entertain but to be able to help people out in a positive way, like that would be amazing. That's a whole long distance away,
Yeah.
but I just want to entertain people. Like even one day, like if I had the money to do so, I'd open up a club. I want people to have fun on Friday, Saturday night, like literally entertaining in like any way. I just want to make somebody's day in whatever way that I can, and then
A
if I
club is one
can,
way to do that. It's
yeah,
one
I
way to
mean,
do
I
that.
would totally be in the club too.
Yeah, I would be in that club. I feel like the Whoa nightclub would be fun.
Oh, I would be DJing at it. That would be fun.
Awesome. This question is, I think that online friends have got to be some of the best friends to make. Are some of Wo's best friends completely online?
I'd say so. I mean, luckily, I still have that core group that I've known since like middle school and high school
Okay.
that have just were like in Discord calls like every week,
Yeah.
still staying in contact. So they've become online friends because we've all moved out to different states. But then I've met like some people just like through content creation because you instantly have this thing you share in common. Like if you both play the same game
Yeah.
versus finding a stranger in the real world and they don't like know what you're doing or
Yeah.
understand it, you instantly have that like those people online.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Mine is a little bit different. I met a group of people online that I've been talking to every day for the past 5 years on Discord, at least for an hour. They become my best friends in real life too. Now I meet them in person.
Yeah, I've been
Um,
planning on like there's even a few people in this chat who I've met online, but we're in
yeah,
Discord calls a lot and like I'd be down to, I don't know, go to Vegas with them, some random
yeah,
place. You have
yeah,
to be super careful though, like
yeah.
to get to know them. Like,
I met some interesting people. You know, I'm telling like a success story, but I mean, for the people listening, definitely be diligent because I've had a lot of interactions that were not as successful with people that I vibed with online, and then like in person, it was a lot different, a lot different.
we
So
still need to meet in person.
yeah, but that's gonna be cake. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
cakewalk. I think I take a lot of pride that I think I feel like everybody I come across and Ghost, and just knowing like my personality, Matt's personality, everybody's personality, that it's just like, and I think that was proved in Atlanta. Like we literally just like never met 80% of the people for the first time, and it was just like instant, like we knew each other, and I love that. And that was one of my favorite parts about the team. What is the funniest thing when you stream or about streaming to you?
Some dumbass people in the chat is funny sometimes, bro. But dude, I just like on my stream, the best thing is like when I'm trying to get content and that funny moment happens live for people.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
But the
Yeah,
funniest thing when you stream, I don't know, that question kind of is confusing a little bit.
yeah. I think the funniest thing about streaming to me is just the shit talkers too. Like it's just people that just come with like the most ill
Oh my
intention.
god,
It's
yeah.
just like as somebody that doesn't phase, I'm just like, what are you even doing right now? Like it's I know some people like genuinely ruins their day, but for me it's more funny than not. Um yeah, I was talking no, and in Atlanta we did karaoke sessions. We actually went to the same karaoke place twice.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's no, you would love it, dude. It was fun. It
Maybe a
was a
couple
lot of fun.
drinks. Dude, I haven't even touched alcohol in like almost 3 months. But I'm still gonna have a couple beers if we go out to like a
No, we need to get
pub or
the
something.
I call him whiskey whoa.
Oh no. Oh no. Chat knows. I mean, I'm not streaming.
What is Wo's favorite part of being in Ghosts?
Well, dude, like first off, I don't ever pick a team that I want to join unless like there's a lot of people I either look up to or like a bunch of friends in it, or I know that like it's gonna have that family aspect. And that is what I love about Ghost currently, because like there's that core group that's like they were in Obey with me. They also joined Ghost, and like we go out of our way to like host these game nights and really genuinely get the whole team together to collaborate and just have fun with each other and get to know each other. It's not just like you slap text in front of your name, you're a Ghost, GG's, do your own thing. No, like you're really a part of this team, like all together. Like we all like in our own separate ways, like can give advice. Like there's a lot of YouTubers, there's a lot of people successful that are streaming, and there's a lot of people with all these opportunities that no one's ever heard of. And we're all like in the main chat where everybody's at, just like constantly like teaching people things, helping each other out. Like we're not like strangers. We're all like even the designers and editors are all still talking and homies with the content creators. Like you're not locked into these little squads within the team. Like everyone is really like all together,
Yeah.
a good group of people. Like we all treat each other like equally. Like there's
Yeah.
no like, the COD people are the cool kids or the Fortnite people or this or whatever. Like we're all like playing together, talking together, and it just feels like a genuine squad of people. And like, and if you like are trying to network, the best thing you could do is also just join a team. Not unless you're going to use them to network and then dib, but like you learn so much just being around like-minded individuals. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
fucking love Ghost, bro.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of Ghosts is the people. It's definitely what I enjoy being part of the team for the most, is just being around so many great people. Very blessed. Uh, what's your favorite Ori that you've been in?
This one
Please
now.
answer this appropriately.
Oh, I already answered it, but it's this one now. Although the only other thing I would say is I used to own a team, and it was
Okay.
back when Call of Duty used to actually be fun for trick shotters and in the montage scene. So there's never been something that's felt the same, because there was like Clash of the Clans back then, but it's Enter Uprise. I don't know if
Okay.
you've ever heard of Enter,
I
but
think I've heard about
we
this.
got first place on Scarce's underrated teams and all that. It was just
Oh,
a fun
okay.
squad of people, and they're the first people I ever met up with from the gaming scene. We went to an MLG Anaheim in like 2018. But yeah, that's just like I'd say them too, because that's where it first felt like you could meet real genuine like a family within like a team.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I
MLG
wouldn't be in a
Anaheim
team if I
2018 is
didn't
fire.
feel like comfortable or like welcome, you know? Yeah, guys, Ghost is lit.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we are going to, yep. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, Wo, for coming on. I told you it was not going to be that bad. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I loved it. Appreciate you. Appreciate your dedication to yourself. And I think you gave really, really good perspective today. I think valuable perspective from a different, it's in a different way that I've heard it, which I really value. A lot of accountability and a lot of understanding of making the best of certain situations where I think other creators might just be like, get me the fuck out of here. So
Yeah. You just always have to take a step back and like ask yourself like what's going on. Like it doesn't have to be like that deep. Like too many
yeah,
people beat themselves up. But it's just a part of the process. Like shit's gonna happen. You're not gonna be doing well 1 month. And as long as you stick it through and like are constantly trying to improve, like you'll then start going up again. There's always up and downs. Like you just have to know that they're coming
yeah,
and
absolutely.
never get used to that 1 month where you had 40 million views. Yeah. So
Absolutely. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is our third episode of Ghost Stories. Next week, we're actually going to have Manda on, which will be one of the more
ooh,
chaotic
yeah,
episodes.
that's gonna be
So
content
I
in
appreciate
itself.
everybody. And if you guys do enjoy this, make sure to stay tuned. We're always posting them. It's the same time every week, Thursday, 8 p.m. EST. So we'll be posting this full version for everybody, and then got some clips of Whoh going out as well. So thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was
Peace,
lit.
y'all.
All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Get grinding.